There's a common discourse online about how people from the US don't travel internationally, and many don't even have passports. A lot of people from other countries attribute this lack of international travel to the idea that Americans are xenophobic, uncultured, incurious, and stupid. And I'm not saying those things aren't true for a segment of the American population, but it isn't the real reason that many people from the US don't travel abroad. Now, this may be shocking to some of you watching this, but the reason so many Americans don't visit other countries is because they're fucking poor. Wealth inequality in the US is extreme and worse than any other high-income nation. While 11% of Americans live under the official poverty line, which is $15,000 a year, that line is grossly outdated, incomplete, and doesn't consider region or cost of living. And if you're above that line, you may not be eligible for government assistance programs, which are also constantly under attack and getting defunded. The minimum wage hasn't been raised since 2009, when it went up less than $1. Even someone making twice the poverty rate is barely scraping by and considered poor in many parts of the country. Also, for a lot of families, the stability that used to be associated with the middle class has been completely gutted. Recent reports show that up to 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, which means they're unable to build any meaningful savings or security and have little money for unexpected costs, like when your car breaks down or you need surgery. Even if you do have a well-paying job in the US, there's a good chance you have massive amounts of student or medical debt, since lending companies are extremely predatory and healthcare is prohibitively expensive. Housing and grocery prices have skyrocketed, leaving a lot of people struggling to afford basic necessities. But let's say you do have the money to travel. A lot of people in the US only have 2 weeks of paid vacation time per year. Many who work multiple part-time or gig jobs have no paid leave. So what are you going to do if you have a family of 4 and 2 weeks vacation and not a lot of disposable income? Spending thousands of dollars in multiple days flying to and from another country halfway across the world just isn't practical for most American families. Also, I think a lot of people who haven't visited the US don't realize just how gigantic it really is. There's so much to do and see. If an American wants beaches, they got them. Beautiful natural parks? You bet. Cool cities with great food and culture? No problem. So with the limitations Americans have when it comes to their vacation time and their expenses, it often makes much more sense just to travel domestically rather than internationally. And listen, I get it. Since the United States is such a rich country and a colonial, cultural, and military force throughout the world, there's this misconception that most of its citizens are really well off. But yeah, it's just not true. The American system is built to keep its citizens poor, and it's been this way for a long time.